Here's the million-dollar question, and it says more about society's deep-seated stigma than it ever will about the capability, wisdom, or contributions of sex workers and sex worker rights activists. Why aren't sex workers being recognized and utilized as powerful tools in the fight for good and evil? It's a question that should make everyone uncomfortable because the answer isn't rooted in a lack of experience, insight, or leadership from sex workers. It's rooted in bias. Despite being frontline experts in resilience, harm reduction, crisis navigation, and community care, sex workers are often excluded from policy tables, media narratives, and social justice movements. And yet, no one understands the complexities of exploitation, survival, consent, and systemic violence more intimately than those who have lived it. The real issue isn't whether sex workers are qualified to lead, it's why society still refuses to listen. Here's the thing: sex workers already are tools for good. They're just systemically denied recognition, funding, safety, and platforms. This isn't a matter of potential, it's a matter of deliberate exclusion. While nonprofits scramble to build trusted messengers and equity frameworks, sex workers have been quietly, and sometimes loudly, doing the work with no safety net and no applause. Let's break it down. Sex workers have been practicing mutual aid long before it was a TED Talk talking point. They've distributed condoms in alleyways, handed out Narcan at 3 a.m., kept bad date lists updated on burner phones, and offered peer counseling in hotel rooms and strip club dressing rooms. They meet people where they're at, literally, and build trust with communities the mainstream refuses to touch. Public health departments now call this best practice. Sex workers call it survival. From spotting a new predator's MO to clocking increased police presence in high trafficking zones, sex workers are the informal intel network cities ignore. They're often the first to detect shifts in street economies, drug trends, or trafficking recruitment tactics, long before any law enforcement sting or NGO report. But instead of being consulted, they're targeted. Their knowledge is mined by academics and agencies, then dismissed when it comes time to share the mic or the funding. Unlike the binary narrative pushed by the savior industrial complex, sex worker rights activists know the messy in between. They understand how coercion, capitalism, and consent intersect. They reject the rescue and arrest model in favor of decriminalization, resource access, and trauma-informed care. They know firsthand that the systems claiming to save them often do the most harm, especially to Black, brown, trans, and disabled people. Sex worker-led organizations aren't just doing advocacy, they're doing the work most governments refuse to fund. They're running hotlines, stocking commissary accounts, showing up to court, writing reentry plans, housing survivors, and doing it all with patchwork funding and burnout budgets. Groups like Swap Behind Bars, Lisa Strada, and Coyote, Rhode Island aren't waiting for permission to serve their communities. They are the community. Decrim isn't just a slogan, it's a solution backed by global human rights organizations, epidemiological data, and lived experience. Sex workers have been building out peer-based, non-carceral, consent-centered frameworks for years. They've written policy briefs, testified at hearings, built apps, and created diversion models that actually work. But instead of being recognized as experts, they're sidelined in favor of carceral feminists who speak over them and evangelicals who moralize their lives. So why aren't sex workers being intentionally used as tools for good? Because respectability politics demand you be a silent, sanitized victim to deserve care or attention. Sex workers don't play that game. Moral panic sells. Sex workers are the go-to bogeyman for trafficking, broken families, and crumbling societal values. Funding follows palatability, not expertise. Sex worker-led orgs don't fit the grant-making mold, and they refuse to water down the truth to fit it. The prison industrial complex needs bodies. Criminalized sex workers are low hanging fruit for arrest quotas and exploitation. The truth is this: sex workers have always shown up. They've done the work, buried their dead, organized their own safety nets, and carried each other through hell and back. The question isn't, why aren't sex workers being used as tools for good? It's, why hasn't society caught up to the fact that we already are?